Have you always carried a secret, unspoken ache? A feeling that, no matter where you are, no matter who you are with, you are not quite home. It's not sadness, not exactly. It's a quiet, persistent sense of being a traveler in a strange land, a guest at a party where you don't know the language, an actor who has forgotten their lines. You've learned to wear the masks. You've learned the customs of this place. But underneath it all, the hidden voice of your soul whispers a single haunting question: where do I belong? The truth is, that feeling of being out of place is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is the most important sign that something is profoundly right. It is the evidence that you are beginning to remember a home you have long forgotten. And that remembrance is about to change everything. If you have always felt this quiet sense of exile, if you are ready to finally understand the sacred truth behind your soul's oldest ache, then take a slow, deep breath. Your journey of remembrance begins now. Subscribe and join this circle of fellow travelers, because the reason you feel so out of place in this world is because you are here to help create a new one. Part 1. The Anatomy of a Sacred Ache. Let us begin by validating this feeling, for it has been your most loyal, misunderstood companion. Let us give it a name other than anxiety, or depression, or not fitting in. Let us call it, for now, the sacred ache. It is the hum of a different frequency that runs beneath the noise of your daily life. Let's explore its textures together. Do you remember it from childhood? The feeling of standing at the edge of the playground, watching the other children play, their games seeming loud and chaotic and strangely meaningless. You could play along, you could mimic their laughter, but a part of you was always standing back, observing with a quiet sense of bewilderment. Is this it? Is this what it's all about? The hidden voice of the ego, even then, was trying to diagnose you. You're too sensitive. You're shy. You think too much. But the deeper, quieter voice, the voice of your soul, was simply whispering, "This is not my native language." Feel it now in your adult life. You are at a dinner party. The room is filled with chatter. People are discussing their careers, their mortgages, the latest political drama, the new series everyone is watching. You nod. You smile. You contribute the expected responses. But do you feel that subtle sense of being behind a pane of glass? You can see their mouths moving, you can hear the sounds, but it feels like you are watching a foreign film without subtitles. There is a disconnect. A feeling that they are all invested in a game whose rules you can't quite bring yourself to care about. The ache arises, a profound sense of loneliness, not because you are alone, but because you feel unseen in your true nature. You are wearing the costume of this world, but it doesn't quite fit. It itches in places you can't scratch. Perhaps you feel it in your relationship with the world itself. You look at the systems that govern this planet, the relentless pursuit of profit, the destruction of nature, the tribal conflicts, the celebration of the superficial, and it produces not just sadness or anger but a deep, cellular confusion. It feels illogical, inefficient, like watching someone try to build a house with broken tools and a flawed blueprint. The hidden voice of your soul remembers a different way of being. A way based on harmony, on resonance, on unity. And so it looks upon this world with the eyes of an engineer from an advanced civilization, watching a primitive culture struggle with basic physics. This feeling is not arrogance. It is homesickness. You have likely spent a lifetime trying to fix this feeling. You've read the self-help books, perhaps gone to therapy, tried to become more outgoing, more grounded, more normal. You have tried with all your might to make this strange land feel like home. You've tried to develop a taste for its strange foods, to find meaning in its strange customs. But no matter how well you adapt, no matter how much you achieve within the rules of this reality, the sacred ache remains. It is the compass of your soul, forever pointing in a direction you cannot see. It is the background radiation of a distant star, a home you carry as a memory in your very bones. Do not pathologize this feeling any longer. Do not let the simulation's narrators convince you that it is a flaw in your design. It is the most authentic, most sacred part of you. It is the proof that you are more than the sum of your experiences in this one lifetime. It is the homing signal of your spirit calling you to remember. And the first step in the journey home is to finally stop calling your compass a curse. It is your guide. And it is working perfectly. Part 2. The diagnosis of the dream. For so long, the world has offered you a diagnosis for your feeling of alienation. It has a whole vocabulary for it, a whole system designed to explain it away and, if possible, medicate it into silence. Let's look at the world's labels, the diagnoses of the dream. Perhaps a doctor or a therapist told you that you have social anxiety. The evidence seems to fit. You feel uncomfortable in large groups. You dislike small talk. You feel a sense of dread before social gatherings. The diagnosis pathologizes your experience. It tells you that your discomfort is a malfunction, a chemical imbalance, a psychological disorder that needs to be managed or cured. It suggests that a healthy person would feel perfectly at ease in those situations. And so you spend your energy trying to fix your anxiety, never once questioning whether the situations themselves might be inherently unnatural to your soul. Or perhaps you were labeled as an introvert or highly sensitive. These labels feel a bit kinder, more accepting. They acknowledge that your nervous system is simply wired differently. You process more information, you feel more deeply, you are more easily overwhelmed by sensory input. This is true on one level. It is an accurate description of the symptoms. But it is not the root cause. It is like describing the qualities of an astronaut's body in zero gravity, the muscle atrophy, the changes in vision, without ever mentioning the fact that they are in space. The diagnosis of highly sensitive describes the hardware of your avatar, but it doesn't explain its origin. Why is your system so sensitive? Is it a flaw, or is it a feature designed for a different environment altogether? The most common diagnosis, of course, is simply that you are weird, an oddball, a dreamer. You don't fit in. You have been told this, perhaps kindly, perhaps cruelly, your entire life. And you have internalized it. You have accepted the identity of the outsider. You have perhaps even made a virtue of it, cultivating a persona of the lone wolf, the misunderstood artist, the spiritual rebel. But this too is a trap of the ego. It is still an identity defined in opposition to the world, which keeps you bound to the world through the energy of resistance. Now let us consider a different diagnosis. Not the diagnosis of the world, but the diagnosis of the soul. The forgotten truth. What if your feeling of being out of place is not a psychological condition, but a metaphysical one? What if it is not a pathology but a form of memory? A cellular remembrance of your true origin? From this perspective, your social anxiety is not a fear of people. It is the soul's allergic reaction to superficiality. It is the pain of being in environments where communication is not heart-to-heart, where connection is based on masks and roles, not on authentic being. Your system is not malfunctioning. It is reporting accurately on the low vibrational quality of the interaction. Your high sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a sign that your perceptual equipment is tuned to a much finer, subtler frequency than that of the consensus reality. You are picking up on the static behind the words, the emotional undercurrents, the energetic truth of a situation. In a world built on illusion and denial, this level of perception is not a gift. It is a burden. But it is the burden of the truth seer. And your weirdness, your not fitting in? It is the most glorious symptom of all. It is the simple, undeniable evidence that you do not originate from here. You are a traveler from another country, trying to make sense of the strange customs of this one. You feel out of place for the most logical reason imaginable, because you are out of place. You are not a native of this particular dimension of consciousness. You are a visitor, an emissary, a volunteer, a seed from a distant star planted in the soil of earth. And the sacred ache you have always felt is not a sign of your brokenness. It is the sound of your own soul whispering across the veil of forgetting. Remember where you came from. Remember why you are here. Part 3. The Echo of Home, a traveler's memory. Let us now dare to imagine the home you are homesick for. The mind cannot go here. The logical mind, the hidden voice of the ego, will immediately dismiss this as fantasy, as wishful thinking. So we must ask the mind to be quiet for a moment. We must use a different organ of perception, the heart, the imagination, the cellular memory that lives in your very bones. I invite you to close your eyes. Take a breath and let go of this world. Let go of your name, your history, your body. And for a moment, let's follow the thread of your sacred ache back to its source. Let's listen for the echo of home. This is not a place with a name you would recognize. It has no coordinates in space. It is a state of being. A dimension of consciousness, a vibrational reality. What does it feel like? First, feel the quality of connection. In that place there is no separation. You are not an isolated I looking out at a world of others. You are a unique and precious note in a vast cosmic symphony. You are instantly, effortlessly aware of your connection to every other note. There is a sense of profound, unconditional belonging. You are known completely without having to speak a word, without having to perform or prove your worth. The loneliness you feel here on earth is simply the echo of this memory of perfect, effortless unity. The ache is the memory of the symphony. Now, feel the quality of communication. Here, in this world, we struggle with the clumsy tool of language. We try to force the infinite ocean of our inner experience through the tiny straw of words. And so much is lost in translation. There is so much misunderstanding, so much misinterpretation. But at home, communication is different. It is telepathic. It is empathetic. It is instantaneous. It is a resonance of feeling, a direct transmission of being to being. There are no lies because there is no possibility of hiding. To think it is to share it. To feel it is to transmit it. The frustration you feel with the inadequacy of words, the deep pain of feeling misunderstood, it is the memory of this effortless, transparent communication. Next, feel the quality of creation. Here, in this dense, physical reality, manifestation is slow. There is a time lag between thought and form. But at home, the barrier between consciousness and energy is much thinner. To imagine is to create. Reality is fluid, malleable, responsive to thought and feeling. The world is a canvas of light, and you are an artist with an infinite palette. The deep frustration you feel with the limitations of this physical world, the feeling of being trapped in a slow, cumbersome reality, it is the memory of your own native, effortless creative power. Finally, feel the quality of love. The love you feel at home is not the conditional, possessive, fearful love we so often experience here. It is not something you have to earn or protect. It is the very atmosphere you breathe. It is the substance of which everything is made. It is an unconditional, intelligent, radiant energy that flows through all things, that holds all things, that is all things. It is not an emotion you feel for someone. It is the very nature of your being. The desperate search for love and approval that drives so much of human behavior on earth is simply the soul's desperate search for the memory of its own true nature, which is love itself. Unity, telepathy, instantaneous creation, unconditional love. This is not a science fiction fantasy. This is the echo of your origin, encoded in your soul. And the sacred ache is the dissonance between that remembered frequency and the frequency of the world you now inhabit. You feel out of place because you are a high-frequency being, temporarily operating in a low-frequency, high-density environment. You are not broken. You are simply out of your native element. And remembering this is the beginning of reclaiming your sanity and your power. Part 4. The veil of forgetting. The idea of the soul coming from a higher realm and forgetting its origin upon entering a physical body is one of the most ancient and sacred teachings on earth. It is not a modern New Age concept. It is a perennial truth that has been whispered down through the ages. Plato, the great Greek philosopher, spoke of it with profound clarity. He taught that the soul, before its incarnation, existed in a realm of pure ideas or forms. The realm of perfect justice, perfect beauty, perfect truth. Upon being born into a physical body, the soul drank from the river of unmindfulness, and fell into a state of amnesia. It forgot its divine origin. For Plato, the entire purpose of philosophy, the entire purpose of life, was anamnesis, the process of unforgetting. It was the work of remembering the perfect forms that the soul once knew. That feeling of being deeply moved by an act of courage or a beautiful piece of music. For Plato, that was the soul recognizing a faint echo of the perfect courage and perfect beauty it knew before its exile. Your feeling of being out of place is the Platonic soul's homesickness for the realm of the forms. In the mystical traditions of Gnosticism, which flourished alongside early Christianity, this idea was central. The Gnostics taught that our spirits were sparks of the one true transcendent God, who had become trapped in a flawed material world created by a lesser, ignorant deity called the demiurge. This world, they believed, was a prison, a simulation. And the human journey was one of gnosis, direct, experiential knowledge, that would awaken the soul from its slumber, remind it of its alien origin, and provide it with the keys to escape the cosmic labyrinth and return to the true God, the true home. And in our modern era, this ancient teaching has been resurrected with stunning detail through the work of pioneers who have explored the vast territories of consciousness beyond the veil. One of the most compelling voices in this field was Dolores Cannon, a past-life regressionist and hypnotherapist who, over a career spanning nearly 50 years, developed a method to contact what she called the subconscious, or what she later came to understand as the higher self or oversoul. Person in lotus position. Through thousands of sessions with ordinary people from all walks of life, a consistent and extraordinary narrative emerged. She discovered that countless souls currently on Earth are what she termed volunteers. They are souls who have come from other planets, other dimensions, from realms of pure energy, who have never been trapped in the karmic cycle of Earth before. They have volunteered to incarnate at this specific, critical time in Earth's history to help with the great shift in consciousness that is underway. These souls, she found, often share a common set of characteristics. A deep-seated feeling of not belonging, a sense of profound homesickness, a rejection of the violence and negativity of this world, and a powerful, often suppressed, sense of mission. Dolores Cannon's work provides a modern framework for the ancient ache. She said, They are the ones who have the most difficult time with life on Earth. They don't understand the violence, the hatred, the illogical nature of the human race. They just want to go home. But she also emphasized that their feeling of being out of place is directly linked to their purpose. It is their sensitivity, their memory of a more harmonious way of being, that is their greatest gift to this world. They are here to anchor a new frequency. They are the lighthouses. They are the wayshowers. So, when you feel that profound sense of not belonging, you are not alone. You are part of a vast soul family, a legion of volunteers, who have chosen to enter this dense and difficult simulation at its most critical juncture. The veil of forgetting was a necessary part of the mission. You had to forget where you came from in order to fully experience and engage with this reality. But now the alarm clock is going off. The veil is thinning. And you are beginning to remember. Part 5. The Great Awakening. Why now? Why is this feeling of strangeness, this sacred ache, becoming so acute for so many people in our current time? Why are the cracks in the simulation appearing with increasing frequency? It is because we are in the midst of what the ancients foretold in every major tradition, the Great Awakening, the end of a cosmic cycle, the time of the Great Shift. The Kali Yuga of the Hindus is ending. The Mayan calendar pointed to this era as a time of profound transformation. We are moving from one level of the game to another, from a consciousness of separation and fear to a consciousness of unity and love. And this shift is not happening automatically. It requires the active participation of the players who are waking up. The feeling of being out of place is intensifying because the vibrational frequency of the planet itself is rising. The background music of the simulation is changing. And as the frequency rises, everything that is not in resonance with it is being shaken to the surface. The old structures of control, of greed, of violence, are beginning to crumble because their low frequency can no longer be sustained. And on a personal level, your own old patterns, your own fears, your own conditioning, are coming up to be healed because they cannot come with you into the new frequency. Your feeling of alienation is your soul's attunement to this new rising frequency. You feel out of place in the old world because you are already vibrating in resonance with the new one that is being born. You are the vanguard. You are the first wave. You are the sensitive canaries in the coal mine of consciousness, feeling the shift before it becomes obvious to everyone else. This is a moment of profound reframing. Your lifelong burden is actually your sacred credential. Your greatest pain is your highest calling. It is time to stop seeing your alienation as a curse and to start seeing it as your mission. If you are ready to accept this mission, to embrace your identity as a wayshower for a new earth, then I invite you to declare it. Click the like button. Let it be a conscious "I accept." A signal to your higher self and to the universe that you understand your assignment. By liking and sharing this message, you are amplifying the call, helping other forgotten volunteers to remember why they came here. Now let's anchor this new identity. I want you to feel into the difference. For your whole life, the hidden voice has told you a story. I don't fit in. Something is wrong with me. I am alone. Feel the heavy, contractive energy of that story. Now let's replace it with the new, truer story. I don't fit in because I am here to help create something new. My sensitivity is my superpower. My homesickness is my compass. I am not alone. I am part of a vast family of light. I am not a victim of this world. I am an agent of its transformation. Can you feel the difference? Can you feel the shift from the energy of a victim to the energy of a creator? From the energy of a lost child to the energy of a being on a mission? This is the shift you are being called to make. It does not change the external world overnight, but it changes everything about how you experience it. You are no longer an exile, shivering in a strange land. You are an ambassador, a secret agent of the divine, here on a mission of love and remembrance. And your feeling of being out of place is simply the constant, reassuring reminder of the glorious home to which you are still connected, and to which you are helping to lead this world. Part 6. Navigating the dream as an awakened traveler. Once you have accepted this new identity, this sacred mission, the practical question becomes, how do you live in this world? How do you navigate the dream when you know it is a dream? How do you function as an ambassador in a land that has forgotten the language of your home country? This is the art of the awakened traveler. First, you must cultivate compassionate detachment. This is not the cold, aloof detachment of someone who doesn't care. It is the warm, loving detachment of a wise grandparent watching their grandchildren play a sometimes foolish game. You love them dearly, but you are not caught up in the drama of their game. You see the bigger picture. When you watch the news, when you see the political theater, the tribal conflicts, the fear-mongering, you no longer get completely sucked into the emotional vortex. You can feel a natural compassion for the fear and pain that drives the conflict, but you also see it for what it is. A drama being played out by avatars who have forgotten their unity. You hold it with a spacious awareness. You do not add your own reactive energy to the fire. Your peace becomes your activism. Your non-reaction becomes a powerful, stabilizing force in the collective field. Second, you must learn to manage your energy. As a being tuned to a higher frequency, you are like a delicate, sensitive instrument in a very loud, chaotic rock concert. You absorb everything. The anger of the person next to you in traffic, the anxiety of the crowd in the mall, the psychic static of the internet. If you are not careful, you will be constantly overwhelmed, drained, and burned out. This means that practices like solitude, spending time in nature, and energetic cleansing are not luxuries for you, they are absolute necessities. You must learn to say no. You must learn to create sacred boundaries. You must consciously choose your environments. It is not selfish to protect your energy, it is essential to your mission. A lighthouse cannot guide ships if its own light has gone out. You must tend to your own inner flame with fierce devotion. Third, you must find a way to translate the language of your soul into the language of this world. You cannot sit on a mountaintop and simply vibrate. You are here to interact. But you must learn to do it wisely. You will find that direct, intellectual conversations about simulations, starseeds, and vibrational frequencies often fall on deaf ears. The unawakened ego has powerful defense mechanisms against information that threatens its reality. So you learn to translate. You don't talk about vibrational frequency, you talk about the feeling in a room. You don't talk about anchoring the light, you simply embody kindness and presence in your interactions. You don't preach about unity, you listen to someone with such deep, non-judgmental attention that they feel a sense of unity with you. Your mission is not to convince minds. It is to touch hearts. You become a secret agent of love, planting seeds of a higher consciousness not through argument, but through your very state of being. Your presence becomes your message. Finally, you must honor your own rhythm. This world operates on a frantic, linear, productivity-obsessed rhythm. The 9 to 5 grind, the constant hustle, the fear of being left behind. This rhythm is poison to your soul. Your soul operates on a different rhythm, a cyclical, creative, intuitive rhythm. There will be times when you need to be intensely engaged with the world, and there will be times when you need to retreat completely, to go fallow, to dream. You must have the courage to honor this inner rhythm, even if it makes no sense to the outside world. You must learn to trust your periods of unproductivity, knowing that they are essential periods of integration and recalibration. You must learn to rest without guilt. You are not designed to function like a machine in the simulation. You are a natural organism, a divine plant, and you need your own unique cycles of sunlight and darkness, of flowering and lying dormant. To honor this is to honor the unique design of your soul. Part 7. The mission, a lighthouse in the fog. Let us now deepen our understanding of the mission. For too long, you may have felt that your sensitivity and alienation were a burden. Now we must see them as the very tools of your trade. You were not sent here by accident. You were chosen for your specific qualities. You are not a lost soul. You are a specialist on an away mission. Imagine a vast ocean shrouded in a thick, disorienting fog. This is the current state of the collective consciousness. The ships on this ocean are the souls of humanity. They are navigating blindly, crashing into each other, going in circles, lost and afraid. They are guided by faulty instruments, the voice of the ego, the dogmas of the culture, that only lead them deeper into the fog. What does this ocean need? It does not need another ship just as lost as the others. It needs a lighthouse. You, with your high sensitivity, with your memory of a different reality, are that lighthouse. Your mission is not to sail around trying to rescue every ship. It is not to climb aboard their vessels and try to seize the helm. It is not to shout sailing instructions into the fog. Your mission is much simpler and much more powerful. Your mission is to be the light. It is to find a solid piece of ground within yourself, the rock of your own awakened presence, and to build your lighthouse there. It is to do your own inner work, to clear your own traumas, to heal your own wounds, so that your light is not distorted by your own unresolved pain. And then, from that place of inner clarity and stability, your only job is to shine. To shine means to live your truth, unapologetically. It means to embody the frequencies of your true home, love, joy, peace, creativity, unity, in your daily life. You become a walking, talking, breathing transmission of a different possibility. You are a living example that there is a way to navigate the fog. Your light is not aggressive. It does not force itself upon anyone. A lighthouse does not chase ships. It simply stands and it shines. And the ships that are ready, the ones that are tired of the fog and are looking for a new direction, will see your light. They will be drawn to it. They will orient themselves by it. You may never even meet them. They may see your light from miles away. But by simply holding your own frequency, by being a stable, coherent beacon of presence in a world of chaos, you will have fulfilled your mission. So, when you feel overwhelmed by the state of the world, when you feel that the darkness is too great, remember your role. You are not here to fight the fog. You are here to be a light within the fog. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, every time you choose presence over distraction, every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you are turning up the wattage of your own lighthouse. You are strengthening the signal. Your feeling of being out of place is what allows you to see the fog as fog. The natives of the fog do not even know they are in it. They think it is simply the weather. Your outsider's perspective is your greatest asset. It allows you to hold a different vision, to remember the sun. Your mission is not to make this strange land your home. It is to bring the consciousness of your true home to this strange land. Part 8. The threat of kinship. Finding the others. One of the greatest pains of the awakened traveler is the feeling of profound loneliness. To be awake in a sleeping world is to be a sober person at a drunkard's party. The conversations feel nonsensical. The concerns feel trivial. And there is a deep, aching desire to find someone else, anyone else, who is also sober. The hidden voice of the ego will often use this loneliness to try to pull you back into the simulation. It will whisper, "See? This spiritual path is isolating you. If you were normal, you would belong. Just go back to sleep. It's easier. It's warmer in the herd." This is a subtle and powerful trap. The cure for this loneliness is not to go back to sleep. It is to find the other sober people at the party. It is to find your true kinship, your soul family. And who are they? They are the other lighthouses shining in the fog. You will not recognize them by their clothes, their jobs, their nationalities, or their beliefs. You will recognize them by a different set of signals. You will recognize them by the light in their eyes. When you speak with them, you will have the distinct feeling that they are truly there. They are present. They are listening not just to your words but to the space between your words. There is a depth, a stillness, a knowing in their gaze that feels like coming home. You will recognize them by the language they speak. They may not use spiritual jargon, but they speak the language of the heart. The language of authenticity, of vulnerability, of a shared search for truth. When you are with them, you can finally take off your mask. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend. You can speak of your sacred ache, and instead of a blank stare, you will see a look of deep, compassionate recognition. They will say, "Me too." And in those two words, a universe of loneliness dissolves. You will recognize them by the shared frequency. When you are in their presence, your own system relaxes. You feel a sense of ease, of resonance. It is not necessarily exciting or dramatic. It is often just a simple, quiet feeling of, "Ah, yes. Here is one of my kind." It is a recognition on a soul level that happens beyond the mind. Your energies harmonize, like two musical notes that create a beautiful chord. Where do you find these people? You do not find them by desperately searching. You find them by becoming more fully yourself. The law of resonance dictates that you will attract to you that which you are. As you do your inner work, as you clear your own fog, as you turn up the wattage of your own lighthouse, your signal becomes clearer and stronger. And the other lighthouses, your soul family, will be able to see you from across the ocean. They will begin to appear in your life, often in the most unexpected ways. A chance encounter at a bookstore. A new colleague at work. A stranger you sit next to on a plane. Your job is not to search for them but to make yourself visible to them. And you do that by having the courage to live your truth, to speak your language, to shine your light, even when you feel you are the only one. You must be the lighthouse you are looking for. And as you shine, you will begin to see other lights twinkling back at you from across the water, and you will know, with a certainty that heals the oldest ache in your heart, that you were never, ever alone. Part 9. The inner landscape. Home is a frequency, not a place, and now we come to the most profound turning point in this journey of remembrance. For the entire duration of your exile, your sacred ache has been pointing outward and backward. It has felt like a homesickness for a distant star, a forgotten past, a place you must return to. The soul has been like a traveler in a foreign land, looking at old photographs of their homeland, weeping with nostalgia. This is a natural and necessary stage of the awakening. But it is not the final one. Because the ultimate secret, the truth that collapses the very notion of distance and exile, is this: the home you are homesick for is not a place you go to. It is a state of consciousness you awaken to right here, right now. The kingdom of heaven, as the Master taught, is within you. Your true home is not in the Pleiades or on Arcturus or in some other dimension. It is in the timeless, spaceless, infinite field of pure awareness that is the source of your own being. The symphony of unity, the telepathic communication, the unconditional love. These are not features of a different planet. They are the inherent qualities of your own consciousness, when it is freed from the static of the egoic mind. The journey home is not a journey through space. It is a journey inward. Let us take that journey now. I invite you to close your eyes. Let go of the story of the starseed, of the volunteer, of the exile. These are useful stories, powerful metaphors, but they are still stories. Let them go. And come back to the simple, direct experience of this present moment. Come back to the silence that is hearing these words. Come back to the stillness that is aware of your breath. Come back to the vast, open space of your own awareness. This space. This is home. Feel into it. Does this awareness have a location? Does it have a nationality? Is it from Earth or from somewhere else? No. It is simply here. It is the universal, placeless ground of all being. Now let's call forth the feeling of home. What does home feel like at its core? Feels like safety. A place where you can finally let down your guard, take off your armor, and be completely, utterly yourself without fear of judgment or rejection. Can you feel that quality of absolute safety in the space of your own awareness? It holds everything, your fears, your flaws, your light, your dark, with an unconditional, loving embrace. It never judges. It only witnesses. This is your true sanctuary. What else does home feel like? It feels like peace. Not just the absence of noise, but a deep, abiding peace that is unshakable. The world can be in chaos, the mind can be in turmoil, but in this inner space, there is a profound stillness. It is the eye of the hurricane. It is the peace that passes all understanding. Feel that peace now. It is your birthright. It is your very nature. And finally, home feels like love. Not the needy love of the ego, but the radiant, self-existing love of Source. It is a warmth that is not dependent on anything or anyone outside of itself. It is the inherent nature of consciousness to love its own creations. Feel this love now as the very substance of your own awareness. You are not looking for love. You are that which you are looking for. This is the homecoming. It is the realization that you were never in exile. You were only dreaming that you were. You were a king sitting on his throne, dreaming he was a beggar searching for a palace. The ache you felt was the king stirring in his sleep. You don't need to leave this world to go home. You just need to wake up within this world. And you wake up by repeatedly shifting your identity from the contents of your consciousness, your thoughts, your feelings, your story of being in exile, to the container of consciousness itself, the silent, peaceful, loving awareness that you are. Home is not a destination. It is a recognition. And it is available to you in every single breath. Part 10. The Epiphany, the bridge between worlds, and so we arrive at the final, liberating understanding. The ultimate purpose of your feeling out of place. You have journeyed from seeing your alienation as a pathology to understanding it as a metaphysical truth. You have embraced the identity of the traveler, the starseed, the volunteer. You have understood that your homesickness is a memory of a higher frequency. And you have discovered that this home is not a distant place, but an inner state of being available now. What, then, is the final piece of the puzzle? What is the ultimate purpose of this entire, magnificent, and often painful journey? The epiphany is this. You did not come here to escape this world and return to your true home. You came here to bring your true home into this world. You are not an exile who needs to be rescued. You are a bridge. You are a living gateway between dimensions. Your feet are planted firmly in the soil of this dense, challenging, beautiful earth. But your head, your heart, your consciousness, are rooted in the timeless, boundless reality of your true home. Your mission is not to choose one world over the other. It is to be the conduit through which the two worlds can meet and merge. You are the embodiment of the great Hermetic principle, as above, so below. You are here to anchor the frequencies of above, the unity, the love, the peace of your true home, into the density of below. You are here to spiritualize matter. You are here to infuse the simulation with the light of the real. How do you do this? You do it with every conscious action you take. When you choose to respond with compassion instead of judgment to someone who is lost in the simulation's drama, you are building the bridge. When you create a piece of art, a garden, a meal with a sense of presence and love, you are embedding the frequency of home into the material world. When you hold a space of deep, non-reactive peace in the midst of chaos, you are acting as a lighthouse, an anchor for a new reality. When you look at another person and you choose to see not their mask, but the spark of the one consciousness that you share, you are dissolving the illusion of separation and weaving the fabric of unity on earth. Your feeling of being out of place is the source of your power. It is what allows you to maintain your connection to the above, without becoming completely lost in the below. It is your tuning fork, your constant reminder of the note you are here to sing. So, the journey is not about leaving. It is about arriving more fully than ever before. It is about incarnating, perhaps for the first time, consciously. It is about saying a radical yes to this human experience, not as a prison, but as your chosen place of service, your workshop, your canvas. You are not a stranger in a strange land. You are the architect of a new land. The hidden voice that once whispered of a lost home now becomes the clear, strong voice of purpose. You are not out of place. You are perfectly placed, a divine instrument at the exact intersection of heaven and earth, at the precise moment of the Great Awakening. You are exactly where you need to be. And your real work has just begun. You are not lost. You are a messenger who has forgotten the message. And the message is you. Your very being is the truth this world is waiting for. If you are ready to embody this truth, to live as the bridge between worlds, then subscribe and walk with us. The time for feeling out of place is over. The time for creating our place has begun. Welcome to your mission.